Guys, so I competed in another judo competition this weekend. It was another blue and under event, blue belt and under. And how did it go? Well, this time I feel like for the first time I was doing judo. Okay, I've done better at previous competitions. Like I've gotten gold. This time I got silver, but I've always felt like I'm almost doing wrestling in judo. The throw that I seem to land the most is a uranage, which is a little bit similar to a suplex. And so, although this time I got a silver and not a gold, I pulled off some stuff that I have never done in competition. And I came away from it feeling like I've improved as a judoka, as a judo player. My 4 fights went relatively quickly. The first 3, I think I won in less than 1 minute each one. And then the 4th one, where I unfortunately lost, and I missed out on getting gold. It went on for a little bit longer, and I'll break that one down for you as well. The first fight, I won relatively quickly. I pulled off an uchimata, which I haven't done since my first ever competition, weirdly. Except back then, it was like a weird, almost reflex in how I pulled it off, whereas this time, I almost calculated it. I looked between his legs and I was like, oh, I can get a leg in between there. And so I tossed him and got an uchimata to win the victory. Now, that was a great one because I always mentally think that when you go to a competition, if you can get that first W, it's going to be a good day. I really don't like losing my first fight. And so to come out, win that, I think it was like 30 seconds, fantastic feeling. Second fight then, this is like the highlight reel of my entire judo career because even my teammates in the footage, you'll hear them go like, oh. So the second fight I won very quickly with a tom and nage. Honestly, to pull that off without even giving the other guy a chance to really do anything was a fantastic feeling. To hear the crowd kind of love it. This is the move to me that really made me feel like, oh my God, I'm doing judo now. I'm not just wrestling people to the ground. It's a very flashy move. I think it's like borderline funny to see the move done in action, and you mostly only see it in movies. But to win via that was by far the highlight of the day for me and definitely softens the blow of getting silver, not gold. My third one, now this was definitely more like wrestling because I won again, but I won via a pin as opposed to an ippon, which for those of you that don't really know much about judo, an ippon is when you throw someone and they land on their back. It is how you win the match instantly. So in layman's terms, it's like knocking someone out in boxing. My first 2 victories were done via ippon. This was done via a pin. It was a lot more scrappy. I almost got thrown myself, and then I quickly countered it by essentially tackling to the guy to the ground and then pinning him for the 20 seconds. Now, I'm not as happy about this win, not to sound like ungrateful and kind of, egotistical, but I'm not as happy about this win because it was a bit more wrestling based. But I'm very glad to get the next dub. The only downside I would also say to this is that ground part absolutely knackered me for the rest of the day. Because I won my first 2 fights via ippon, I didn't use that much energy. They were over very quickly. I just threw them and won. Whereas this was like an actual little scrap. Granted, it didn't even last more than a minute, but just pinning that guy down for 20 seconds completely wore me out. Like I used all my energy doing that. And so when it came to the final match, I was up against another guy who had a very similar style to me. I think he even won one of his matches by a tominage, which was pretty cool to see. But he was undefeated as well. And so I was essentially going into this meeting my equal, if you say. It was like, I was like Po from Kung Fu Panda versus Tai Lung at this point.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
Now, what is funny about this match is that we both went into it and we both tried tominage each other. So I think he tried it on me first and failed. I tried it on him and then failed. And it ended up in a bit of a scrap on the floor. Again, I was knackered from the previous match and this match went on for quite a bit. No excuses though, he was just by far better than me on the floor. He ended up submitting me via a strangle, and yeah, afterwards I learned that he is also a jiu-jitsu player. So, I mean, no excuses, hats off. The guy was very good, had a very similar style to me, and I think is slightly better than me on the ground. So, in hindsight, had I known a bit more about him, I would have elected to keep the fight standing, because I believe I probably would have had a better chance standing than on the ground. But either way, lesson learned, and he was a fantastic competitor. So I've got no issues about my loss.
So before I wrap this video up, I just want to say that I am really enjoying my journey in judo. I have done various martial arts before in the past, but this is one that I really have fallen in love with, and I'm enjoying the journey of gradually seeing these improvements and learning new techniques as I go along, because I do believe they are really applicable to real life, because everyone wears jackets, clothing that you can grip on, and there's a lot you can do to people. They're also applicable to BJJ, so if you're a BJJ player and you're watching this, learn some judo. You're going to learn some fantastic takedowns, and you'll realize that they are essentially the same martial art, they're just under different rule sets. And even MMA, I think it's such an underrated martial art that's underutilized in MMA, but you do see a lot of MMA champions with judo black belts or backgrounds. Ronda Rousey, Khabib, Islam Makhachev, Merab, there's quite a lot. Kayla Harrison on the rise now. So yeah, I didn't get into judo until my late 20s. I'm literally turning 30 within the next few weeks. So I don't believe that it is ever too late to start. Obviously, I'm not old, but at the same time, I'm not as young as some people believe you have to be to start this martial art. So go try it. Or if you don't practice any martial arts and you're an adult watching this, or you're around my age or even a bit older, go try martial arts. Trust me, it is such a good journey of learning and humility that you learn through yourself. But particularly, I think the grappling martial arts, such as judo and BJJ, are fantastic for everyone to know. I don't believe you have to be a hard person to know them. Being intelligent helps a lot, but being willing to learn is the most important part. So I'm enjoying this journey. I hope you guys are enjoying coming along with me on this journey, because I'm trying to include and vlog as much of it as I can whilst I can. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop it a like, and please drop my channel a subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Let me know if you train any martial arts, because I love hearing about any martial arts, no matter what it is. It's one of my greatest interests, and I will see you in the next video.